you tell I'm in denial?
You can't stay at the top forever.
I was also very surprised when I looked at my phone and saw Joe Girardi dismissed.
Well, I think mine were with common sense.
I think now belongs in the all-time greats top 10.
Boston, I really think only got to this point because of a guy named Chris Middleton being out for the Bucks.
That power play just was unbearable. It was humming.
Man, am I happy. I knew that this was going to happen. I knew he was going to come back.
When I think of New York Yankees now is Judge, probably people in the past when Jeter was coming up.
I would be shocked. A little bit hurt.
Hey, this is Greg Tepper of Dave Campbell's Texas Football, TexasFootball.com, and Valley Sports Southwest. You are listening to Outsiders Opinions with Kevin and Austin.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to our NFL Opinions of the Week. And we are recording the day Dillon Gabriel signed his contract, as those contracts are officially getting signed. But I don't think he was in competition to start. But Austin, what are your thoughts on just this Browns quarterback room?
It's trial by committee this year. I can almost guarantee that no one person will start every game this season. But I am interested who starts week one. I don't think it's going to be a rookie.
I doubt. I'm not a betting person, but I would bet it's not a rookie. I don't think we've seen Dillon Gabriel or Shedeur Sanders until halfway through the season. But here's the thing. You would go with the veteran, but you have two veterans. You have Joe Flacco and Kenny Pickett. And to me, I'm not sure what direction they go. I want to go Joe Flacco because I believe Kevin Stefanski likes Joe Flacco and believe Joe Flacco won Comeback Player of the Year. Or no, was it DeMar? It was DeMar Hamlin, right?
Joe Flacco won Comeback Player of the Year with the Browns.
Yeah, so you have that history, and I know he didn't do well at the Colts, but I feel he fits the Browns system, so he would be my pick for who starts week one. But I could see week 3, week 4, Kenny Pickett getting a shot.
Yeah, I think Kenny Pickett will start week one. I think I'm predicting that early because I think that Joe Flacco, I could see Joe Flacco starting week one, and they have a lot of guys on this roster that are capable of starting a game or two this season. But I think they go the youngest option because Joe Flacco has been the one to end a lot of seasons recently, but I don't think he's going to be the one to start week one. I don't think they see him as I think you try to see what you have in some of the guys that are younger and the older of the younger ones like Kenny Pickett to see if you have anything. And if not, then you can just move on. But if you do, then you can actually build on that moving forward instead of going with Joe Flacco, which even if he is solid, right, he's not going to be a member of the team for too much longer.
Yeah, and I'm hesitant to say Joe Flacco because with this large of a quarterback room, you have to feel there are some cuts. And they're not going to cut Dillon Gabriel or Shedeur Sanders or Kenny Pickett because they've invested draft capital. Gabriel and Sanders were just they drafted those guys. They made a trade for Kenny Pickett. Flacco, to me, isn't on a big deal, so I could see them cutting Flacco so he doesn't even start, which leaves Kenny Pickett. However, I think the best chance to win, because the Browns, I would say, believe they're in a win-now mode, even though they don't have a quarterback and their offense has struggled. They have a great defense. They view themselves as a win-now mode, and I believe Joe Flacco gives you the best win-now player. However, just with how weird that situation is, I could see them going Kenny Pickett and cutting Joe Flacco.
Yeah. I think that you make a good point, but I think that they still try out because Kenny Pickett was on a team that went above 500. So I don't think that they think that he's a terrible QB by any right. I don't think you give up draft capital not to try to give your guy a shot. He's getting first team reps in OTAs, but it doesn't really matter. We're not that close to the season starting. But I do believe that Kenny Pickett will be the guy week one. Deshaun Watson, They list him as questionable on ESPN. I don't think that he comes back for at least the majority of the season. And even if he does return, it's just such a negative on the roster for him to be there at this point. Not just because of what he's done off the field, but even on the field, it's just been brutal.
Yeah, I believe both parties are looking for ways to get out of that where they both win. Browns win by not having to pay him that much. Deshaun Watson wins by not playing for the Browns and getting that money because, oh man, that is just a terrible contract and just whole situation that they were aware of, but they still made it. But yeah, he's not going to be till later in the season if he does play, but they may not. They may just rest him because they're both looking to get out of that. So it is tough because I don't think Kenny Pickett's bad. It's just I feel you know what he is. So with 2 rookie QBs, I would just start playing them. And I do think Flacco gives you a better chance just given prior experience, but I am interested to see what Kenny Pickett does. So it really is up to Stefanski. And yeah, I know OTAs don't really matter. I'm not even really concerned who starts in the preseason. I think it's gonna just be what do they see from a day-to-day. And if they want to keep Joe Flacco, I feel he starts because if he's going to be a backup, you have 2 backups, and you just can't move Dillon Gabriel or Shedeur. Even though Shedeur fell, I do think a team would pick him up if he was put on waivers. Same thing with Dillon Gabriel because they're young players or they're put on the practice squad.
Yeah. You can't put older players on practice squad, so yeah, they would just resort to putting Dillon Gabriel and Shedeur on practice squad probably to start the season. But I do think that there's going to be a trial for both of those players. I think everybody who's in the QB room right now will have a chance to start and may start a game this year, all of them, especially if they do not come out to a hot start with either Flacco or Kenny Pickett.
Absolutely. I do think all quarterbacks on the roster will start, except Deshaun Watson. I view his injury, it's going to take him out for the entire year. Because I don't feel I'm going to go with Joe Flacco starts week 1. Then I can see after a few weeks them going to Pickett, him trying it. Then they go to Dillon Gabriel or Shedeur. There's a marketing strategy if they play Shedeur over Dillon Gabriel, but we'll have to see. So, yeah, we're going both the veteran are out. I'm going to go with Joe Flacco. You go Kenny Pickett.
Yep.
All right. Let us know your thoughts in the comments about the Browns quarterback situation and who you believe starts week 1. We appreciate you listening. And of course, we will monitor this as the NFL regular season goes. So make sure you hit that bell, hit the subscribe button, and be on the lookout for more videos as we are a daily podcast. Thank you for listening to Outsiders Opinions.